Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of your Wheel and Anchor weekly newsletter. I'm here now in the very western part of Austria, up in the mountains of the Alps. Beautiful countryside, as you can see. The weather is spectacular. And for those of you who are geographically inclined, if I was to climb over the mountains back over there, I would find myself in the little principality of Liechtenstein. And back here, if I was to climb over these mountains, I'd probably be somewhere around Davos, Switzerland. So my travels have so far only taken me within Austria because, of course, I'm still waiting for my vaccine to become valid. So another week or so, and I'll be able to continue my journey around Europe. And following last week's newsletter, I got a couple of messages from some of our other members who are also traveling around Europe and wanted to comment on how easy or difficult it has been in light of the coronavirus restrictions. And so Loretta reported, for example, she is traveling through Slovenia and Croatia right now. She got the mixed vaccines, as many of our members did, many Canadians did, and she said she's had no problems with the vaccine certificate she got from Canada. She's been able to enjoy her trip through Slovenia, Croatia, now into Montenegro, and has had no problem with being able to get into restaurants and bars and all those places. I also got a note from Tracy, one of our members out from Vancouver, BC, and she made a last-minute trip to France. And actually, France is offering to issue EU COVID certificates to people from outside the EU who want to travel and want to have the benefit of having this QR code. Then it also enables you to be able to go into restaurants and bars and so on. And so if anybody is planning a trip in the near future to France, that is certainly something that you should consider, and something that I wasn't even aware of. And on that note, as I say, we published last week our EU, our global entry requirements list based on trips that we are planning to take in the next 6 months or so. So if you didn't get a chance, take a look at that. We're going to be including it in the newsletter each week and updating it from time to time, so you have a bit of an idea of what is going to be required. The other topic that has now come up with a number of members as we move gradually towards our first trips at the beginning of next year is one of insurance. And I know that I promised some time ago that we were going to do a bit of a webinar on insurance and explain what the options are. In digging into it further, the landscape for travel insurance is still quite complicated. And so I just wanted to mention a couple of quick points. We are going to be issuing a guideline on travel insurance, which is meant to explain a little bit about some of the issues that you need to be aware of if you're going to be buying travel insurance, and hopefully give you a few ideas and insights that'll be helpful whether you choose to book insurance through us or not. First of all, I think it is absolutely critical that you consider buying some kind of travel insurance. So I personally don't recommend anybody to travel outside of Canada, or frankly, even within Canada, even outside of your own province, without having some kind of a travel insurance policy. In this day and age, as we know, medical costs can be very, very high. And so whatever you do, don't leave home without arranging some kind of an insurance. Of course, the big question is do travel insurance policies now cover COVID? And of course, the answer to that is not clear because it's different with every single insurance company. I know that one of the two companies that we work with, Manulife, is offering a policy, a COVID protection plan that you can purchase in addition to an existing travel insurance plan, or you can buy their premium insurance, which actually allows you to cancel a trip for any reason whatsoever. And while that sounds very handy, it does come with a pretty hefty premium. And so while on one hand we all sort of struggle with insurance and the costs that are associated with it, we have to understand that in this day and age there are a lot of risks associated with traveling, and therefore that's why insurance companies are actually charging quite high premiums these days. But that certainly is one option that you can consider. We also offer another company called Travel Guard, which has more reasonable insurance premiums, but they, on the other hand, won't cover if a trip is canceled, for example, for reason of COVID. So there's a lot of factors to look into. And so, as I say, in the next week or two, we are going to be coming up with a little bit of a guideline that will will help you to understand travel insurance a little bit better. And one thing as well, particularly if you're planning a trip either with us or on your own, is you can also consider buying insurance for your destination. So for example, here in Europe, there are a number of companies that offer travel medical insurance, usually in the sums of around 100 or 200,000 euros, which of course is usually plenty to cover most things that could happen to you at a fraction of the price at what insurance companies charge at home. So I'll give you a little bit more insight onto that in the guideline that we're going to put together. But the point is that it's worth spending some time to research a little bit, figure out what your specific requirements are, where you're going, and exactly what the options are. And we'll do our best to help you figure all of that out. But as I say, it's worth spending a bit of time to Google around on the internet and see what you can find. So just one last thing before I sign off from the beautiful Montafon Valley here in Austria. This coming week on September the 30th, Thursday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, our usual time, we're going to be presenting our Pacific South America Expedition Cruise. This is a really exciting cruise. It's a brand new ship with a very cool design. It's actually just going to be launched this fall, and we're going to be cruising from Valparaiso, Chile, all the way up to Costa Rica in 2022. So if you'd like to find out about that one, join us this coming Thursday. The following week, on Thursday, October the 7th, we'll be presenting the Dunes and the Delta. This is our program through Namibia and Botswana. It was actually requested by some of our members a while back, and I'm really excited about this one as well, because we're actually going to be doing a fly-in safari to a couple of places in Namibia, including the amazing Sossusvlei sand dunes, the highest sand dunes in the world, and of course the Okavango Delta, which is one of the largest freshwater inland deltas in the world. So that one is going to be, again, October the 7th. Join us for that webinar. I look forward to seeing you there. And this is our final week for our trip inspiration survey. If you didn't get a chance to fill that in, please take a few minutes to do that. It's very, very helpful because it'll prioritize what trips that we're going to be planning for you in 2023 and beyond. Look forward to catching up with you again next week, where I'll be reporting back for another part of Austria.